All right, we're going live on air. Everybody a chance to come in, sit down, grab a drink, pull up a table. Here's my sister Sabrina, welcome. Lovely Tiffany, welcome y'all, welcome. There's Jen, I see the alarm worked. Welcome, Randy. My sister Sedna, much love and respect, girl. Katie, welcome guys, welcome, welcome, welcome. Candy in the house. There's Annie and Daniel, my brother Daniel's in the house. Welcome, Caitlin. Brother Brian from the shiny state of Florida. Natalie, welcome guys. Jessica, Miss O'Malley. What's up, my fam? What's up, what's up, what's up? Come in, grab a seat, grab your drink. Welcome, Carla. Welcome, Mr. Larry. All right, y'all, give everybody a chance to come in and grab a seat and a drink and cozy up to the table or the bar and get ready for some cool stories. There's Jen. Grandview, Missouri. Thank you, Miss Sabrina. Yes, but is that coffee leaded or unleaded, Brian? That's the question. What's up, Rachel? All right, y'all. Looks like we got a pretty good number of people starting to show up. All right. So, I decided yesterday, in a fit of madness, to kind of add some stuff to the Demon's Tea Room. So first off, I want to welcome everybody. There's my brother Josh, my little big brother. Welcome everybody to the Demon's Tea Room. I'm your host, Cedric, hosting here from the hot zone of New Orleans. For those of you who have never gotten a chance to meet me or who are new here to the Demon's Tea Room, I am the lead investigator and founding member of New Orleans Paranormal Explorers, the NOPE team, and I am also a full-time paranormal tour guide here in the city of New Orleans with Haunted History Tours. And to answer my brother Josh, woo! And for all our Wookiee brethren out there. So, it's story time, children. Now, before we get into our stories today, I want to bring you guys some public service announcements from us to you. When you're out there in the waste and you see a first responder, a nurse, a doctor, thank them for being out there on the front lines. Not even the front lines, the only lines that we have in this fight. And give them a big, huge thank you. And tell them you appreciate them being out there fighting the good fight. Hell, do them a solid. Send them some food. Even better, send them some PPE. Tell them that you want them to continue to be out there on that front line fighting the good fight. So today, guys, in the Demon's Tea Room, we've had a couple requests. And those requests, because some of you guys want to hear about Jean Lafitte and his blacksmith shop. So, we're going to start off our conversation today with Jean. Now, some people call him Jean, some people call him Jean. In fact, that's even an argument we have in the haunted household here, is how his name is pronounced. I am originally from Galveston, and there is Jean. Some people pronounce it Jean. It's up to you how you want to pronounce it. But either way, Jean Lafitte was born around 1780. Now, history tells us he was either born in France or in Saint Domingo. history's still up in the air on that one. But where history is not up in the air is that Jean and his brother Pierre became privateers. Now, you dig off into the history of Jean Lafitte. He did not like the title pirate. In fact, he got rather irritated when somebody used that term. Now, for my non-pirate educated folks out there, we don't use the term pirate today. Today we use the term pre-wreckage salvage expert. Welcome to PC, boys and girls. So, the difference between a pirate and a privateer. Privateer has a letter of marque from a particular king or queen to take out shipping for their particular country. And for a long time, Jean Lafitte had that letter of marque from the French court to take out all ships of the enemy. Spain. He didn't like the Spaniards very much. In fact, along in his career, he really didn't like the Spaniards. Now, Jean and his brother Pierre wind up here in New Orleans around 1802, and they set up multiple businesses. Now, we're going to get more into the history of the blacksmith shop here in just a minute, but suffice it to say, the blacksmith shop was set up as one of their fronts. Keeping in mind, I don't know how many pirates you guys know. I know quite a few of them. They've never picked up a blacksmith hammer in their entire life, let alone done strenuous manual labor. This was a front. And the city knew about it, the powers that be knew about it, and they let it go. And there's a bloody good reason for that. Because trying to get goods here into the city of New Orleans was nigh on impossible, except for the privateers. So they would set up warehouses and the blacksmith shop, and those would be fronts to move this ill-begotten goods and sell it to the citizens of New Orleans. So most everybody turned a blind eye to these nefarious acts. Now, on top of the fact that history tells us that Jean Lafitte was an exceptionally nice guy. Very, very nice, made friends with everybody, and he was a really, really cool cat. Now, one little piece of historical trivia. The garden that is right behind St. Louis Cathedral, St. Anthony's Garden. What would happen back in the day, the early 1800s, is on Saturdays and Sundays, pirates would come in, they would set up all their tables inside the fences, leaned up against the fences. They would have all of their begotten goods there for sale. You as a citizen, come up, look through the fence, see something you wanted to purchase, put your money through the fence. They would hand you the piece of property you just bought, and thus the term fencing started. Ta-da! It's where fencing came from. It was right here in the city of New Orleans, fencing stolen goods. So, a little extra piece of history for you guys there. So, Jean and Pierre and his group operated for a long time here in the French Quarter. Now, where things started to get just a little bit sideways is around the War of 1812. Those pesky, nasty Brits were trying one more time to take our beautiful land from us. And I'll tell you real quick, this is a very French city. And there is one thing that the French hate more than the Americans, and that's the British. So, there had been some inroads made to try and stop Jean Lafitte and his brother Pierre. So, they had gone just east of the city, out to the islands, and had set up Barratarian Island as a basic fort and that area for his ships and his crew and all that, a little safe area. But he still had his operations going down here in the quarter. Now, War of 1812 breaks out, and as any student of strategy and tactics will tell you, you take New Orleans, take the country, because we're the start of the Mississippi. if you can take this city, you have a free run right up the middle of the United States. So, at the time, Colonel Jackson, wasn't even General Jackson yet, came into the city knowing that the city of New Orleans was a major target for the British fleet. Now, came in, didn't have much of an army to defend the city, but he knew that the British were coming. They had to take the city of New Orleans. So he had a problem. Now, he went through, tried to get conscripts to join the army, didn't quite have the material that he needed as far as weapons and black powder. But who did? Here comes our boy, Jean Lafitte. He had it in droves in his warehouses. So, at first, the British had secretly come into the city, and they went to Jean Lafitte and they tried to convince him to fight for the British. They said, look, you know the waterways around here, you know all the back ways in and out of the area. What do we have to do to get you to fight for us? John, being an upstanding guy, I don't know if you'd call him a patriot, but he was on the fence. He was a businessman. His thoughts are, you know what? Yeah, no. When this is all said and done and all the dust settles, I got to live here. Thank you, but no thank you. I'll tell you what, I'll think about it, but don't hold your breath. So, he goes off, and he goes to Andrew Jackson. He says, look, bro, British have already tried to recruit myself and my men. What are you willing to offer us for us to fight for the Americans? And at first, nobody wanted to work with the pirates. Privateers. Nobody wanted to work with those unmentionable types. Jean's like, fine, have a good fight, have a good war, deuces. Off he goes. Continues to do his business. Well, Jackson figures out rather rapidly he ain't got what it's going to take to defend the city. Now, at this point, keep in mind this is just coming up to 1814 into 1815. Pierre and some of the Baratarians had gotten arrested for selling items that may or may not have been theirs. Just leave it there. But they're sitting in the pokey down in the Cabaldo, down in the French Quarter. So Jean finally goes back to Andrew Jackson and says, tell you what, make you a deal. You get my brother and all of my men out of the Cabaldo, and you pardon myself, my brother, and all of my men for anything we may or may not have done, be it legal or illegal. We'll fight for you. And that's what Jackson did. So, they went down to the Cabaldo, went to go release Jean's brother, and surprise, they had already broke out. Whoopsies. But Jackson was willing to stick with his deal. And he was willing to give a pardon to the Baratarians and Jean and Pierre Lafitte. So, the Battle of New Orleans kicks off just a little bit right on the other side of the bridge, right over here, over in the Chalmette battlefield. British came up, and they got their butts kicked. Big time and in a hard way. There's even a point on the Mississippi River to this day called British Turnaround, where the British fleet turned around and took their little butts back across the pond. Now, the numbers of dead were highly off-sided. British took a huge amount of dead. The Americans, not so much really. I think if I remember my numbers correctly, it's like 17 people to over almost 1,000 were killed on the British side. Now, the really jacked up part about the Battle of New Orleans is if you study the War of 1812, unfortunately, the war had been over for at least a month before the battle over at Chalmette battlefield was fought. News hadn't made its way down here into the swamps to tell them that an armistice had already been signed, the British had capitulated, and the war was over. So that fight never had to happen. Oops. So, John Lafitte goes out. They are now the heroes of the city. They helped defend the city of New Orleans. That didn't help a whole lot because they continue to do their pirating ways. Legend has it that after leaving New Orleans, John Lafitte went up the coast just a little bit up into the Galveston area, where he set up operations there in Galveston and continued his ways as basically a pirate. Keeping in mind, in this time period, for our fans of the swashbucklers, the French and the Spanish, particularly the Spanish, had very hardcore started pushing all of the pirates out of the Caribbean. So a lot of them came this way up the East Coast as well as into the Gulf of Mexico. Now it's believed that over the years and many, many other stories of adventure, John passed away. Some believe it was down in Mexico. Others believe it was farther down in Central America. History's still up in the air on where exactly he fell. Now, John Lafitte's Blacksmith Shop, which is located there on Bourbon Street, was one of 3 buildings that survived both the fires of 1788 and then again in 1794. It is a French colonial style house, and you can tell when you see it, it looks different from everything else in the French Quarter, because technically the French Quarter should be called the Spanish Quarter, because all that architecture that we all love about New Orleans, there in the French Quarter, is Spanish architecture. Because after the fire of 1788 and then again in 1794, the Spanish came in, and their way of dealing with the fire problem was, instead of rebuilding all the nice wood-framed, barge wood style houses, they put in brick and wrought iron to try and deal with the fire issue. So that's why it looks the way it does today. Now, 3 buildings here in the city survived both of those fires. The Ursuline Convent, which we talked about in an earlier episode. Madame John's Legacy, where, for my Anne Rice fans, if you go back and watch Interview with the Vampire, the scene where Claudia, the little girl vampire, is getting piano lessons, and she gets hungry and she ends up eating her piano teacher and pisses Louis off, that was filmed in Madame John's Legacy. And the 3rd building that still stands today from both those fires is John Lafitte's Blacksmith Shop. Now, as we said, it started out as a gathering place for Pierre, John, and his friends, and it was a place for them to drink. And they realized rather rapidly, hey, if we put this place to work, 1, we can make some money doing it, and I can help offset the cost of all the rum I'm buying to feed my friends. So they opened it up as a blacksmith shop. Now, today, John Lafitte's Blacksmith Shop is a bar, one of the, not the, but one of the oldest active bars in the continental United States to this day. And there still is no electricity down used on the first floor. It's all candlelit and lamp lit. Now, it's an epic, epic place to go in, especially on slow nights when there's not 3 million tourists in there. It is an awesome place to go sit down, grab a drink, and be transported back in time to what it was like here in the city. When you come and when you visit John Lafitte's Blacksmith Shop, pay close attention, because there's a lot of interesting things that goes on in the blacksmith shops. One, which is not a huge shocker, John Lafitte himself has been seen in the blacksmith shop as a full figure, full solid body apparition. Now, he's never interacted with anybody, he's never talked with anybody. A lot of times, he's either seen sitting in a back corner in the shadows with either a cigar or a pipe, flagon of rum, and he's just watching everybody go by. When somebody goes to interact with him, he disappears right in front of them. He's also been seen standing back towards the back. And as soon as we get this video uploaded onto YouTube, and I'll post some down here on Facebook, got a picture that was sent to me one night after one of our tours, about 2 o'clock in the morning. I'll show you guys. It's pretty intense. But he's been seen standing around inside. Because keep in mind, in the blacksmith shop, it's really dark because all you're dealing with is lamplight. And he's been seen standing off in the corner. And again, when people start acknowledging him, he disappears. Now, one personal experience of mine in John Lafitte's Blacksmith Shop is the little ghost dog. I've been standing at the bar. Oh, there's my boss, Sidney Smith. Everybody be quiet. Quit talking about him. What's up, boss? Miss you, brother. Be standing at the bar there at Jean Lafitte's blacksmith shop, and personal experience, feel something rub against my leg. Look down, and there is a Benji-looking gold dog standing right beside me. This, in and of itself, not weird. Happens all the time in the quarter. We are a very dog-friendly quarter. So, me being who I am, reached down to pet said dog. Hand went through said dog disappeared. It's curious. Come to find out, there's been multiple reports of that ghost dog showing up around Jean Lafitte's blacksmith shop, and I've seen him one other time as I was leading one of my tours for Haunted History. And as I'm leading my tours, I watched that little Benji dog run right across the street and into what I thought was a door. As I got up the street just a little bit, solid wall to a house. So, who's the dog? What's his story? Nobody knows. Now, staying on the first floor of Jean Lafitte's blacksmith shop, also been reported, especially by a lot of our ladies on tour. And when we stop there during our tours, we don't tell the story before we let them go in. We let them be guinea pigs to see if they come across anything unusual. Because it's not uncommon for the ladies to be standing in line for the bathroom, and there's always a line for the bathroom. And we'll have, especially if they're in a group, have somebody walk up and tap one of them on the shoulder. They turn around, there's a gentleman standing there in what today we would see as pirate gear. Solid gentleman saying, you guys having fun, or you're enjoying yourself in the city? Yeah, no, we're having fun. And this lady will turn around to tell her friends, hey guys, check out what this dude and what he's wearing. He looks really cool. Turn around, he ain't there anymore. Now, in conversation with those that work there at the blacksmith shop, we don't think this particular entity is an actual pirate. The running theory is that he's one of the former tour guides that was a tour guide here in the city for years, and that his ghost is going to the last place he still enjoyed being, and still checking on our tourists here in the city to make sure that they're having a good time and they're enjoying themselves. Now, if you go upstairs, which as a visitor you're not allowed to do, but if you go upstairs, which is where the offices and that are located, the spirit of a young woman is known to haunt the upstairs. Now, some records, we're not sure who she is, but records have shown that at one point, when the building that is Jean Lafitte's blacksmith shop was a private residence, there was a young woman that lived in that house, and some of the records lead to point that she committed suicide at some point up there on the second floor. Now, how she likes to show herself, she's not extremely aggressive, but the way she likes to show herself is especially if you're a guy and you're sitting upstairs, because that's where the offices are located, as well as the security monitors for the security cameras, be sitting at a table and chair, and hear your name whispered in your ear by a female voice. Turn and look around, nobody else in the second floor. She likes to do that a lot. Our theory as investigators is that she's just trying to let you know that she's there and that she knows your name. Now, there have been some reports, people walking around down on Bourbon Street and along the side of the building and seeing what looks like the shadow of a woman staring up down towards them from the second floor. They go in, there's my sister Julie. Love you guys, stay safe and healthy. They go in and ask, who's up on the second floor? The bartenders are like, there's nobody up there. Everybody who's on duty is down here on the first floor. So, must be her way of trying to let you guys know that she's still up there and she's still looking out for her house. So, that's Jean Lafitte, his brother Pierre, and Jean Lafitte's blacksmith shop. So when you guys get a chance, as soon as we're through the pandemic, come on down, go to Jean Lafitte's blacksmith shop. Hell, come jump on a tour with us at Haunted History. We'll take you by there and tell you the stories again. It's a little bit different when you're standing in the shadow of it. Now, want to give some updates from here in the city. Now, I'm going to change something I said just a little bit. I am, after some back and forth, we are going to release the numbers here in the city. I feel that it is pertinent and it does need to be released so people understand what's going on and they understand why they need to keep their butts at home. All right? Now, the interesting part is both Evie and I have both been trying to find the numbers for those who have gotten through this and come out the other side and recover. And they're really difficult to find. And I've been told that the logic behind that is they don't want to give a false sense of security in recoverable numbers so that people decide, oh, it's okay, we can go out and go throw a second line or a crawfish boil or a barbecue. I get the theory behind it. Don't know if I agree with it, but hey, who the hell am I? I'm just a tour guide. So, as of the airing this episode from NOLA Ready, we are at confirmed 3,966 cases in Orleans Parish alone. And unfortunately, 153 of those have passed away. So, keep those families and those people in your thoughts and your prayers as we make our way through this shit show. Now, one last public service announcement the day before we go. Never forget the basics. Keep your weapons cleaned, keep them serviced. And wash those damn hands. All right? Also remember, and no matter how much you want to choke the living crap out of your neighbors or that annoying citizen standing in line with you at the Walmart, social distance. Keep your social distance at least 6 feet. And always remember, ladies and gentlemen, even if a super mutant invades your house, keep your butt at home. This is why we keep our weapons cleaned, locked, cocked, and ready, and always serviced. Keep your butts at home. The more you go out, the longer we get to walk through this shit show. So, everybody stay at home, wash your damn hands, and keep coming in and tuning in to the Demon's Tea Room. So, those little points I just point out, I want you to live it, learn it, love it. You are the only thing that can prevent catching the vid-19. Remember that. So guys, as always, boost the signal for us. It's a huge help to us. Get the signal out. They can't stop the signal. Hack the planet. All right? Smash the like button. Do me a favor, go down here in Facebook, hit that thumbs up button. All right? Give us some love. When we're on YouTube, once these videos get up, smash that YouTube button, or excuse me, scene 1, take 2. Smash that subscribe button. Hit that thumbs up like button and hit the bell so you get an announcement letting you know when we put up more content. I'm working on content right now that's not going to go out live, but that will go straight to the YouTube channel. I'm trying to learn and mess around with editing and dodging the occasional teacup from my loving wife as she tries to edit my videos. She's got a good arm on her. Now, if you guys want to help out the Tea Room, links are in the descriptions below on how you can do that.
Give them out loud too.
Well, come here and jump in real quick. And you already said hi. Come on, you already said, and they're going to yell at me if you don't.
Hi guys, see me in my gardening gear. No, if y'all want to contribute to the cause and help us out, you can. We do have a PayPal for the Demon's Tea Room. It is paypal.me/the Demon's Tea Room, or you can Venmo this lovely gentleman right here at Cedric-Whitaker. Whitaker has 2 T's on Venmo. Guys, peace out.
I am so dead. All right. And so, that's pretty much it, ladies and gentlemen. As always, mad love to everybody out there. Huge respect, huge honor. My heart goes out to every one of you guys out there watching in the world. My fam, be safe, be healthy, keep your head about you, stay your butts at home, and we will get through this. It's going to get dark, But this right here, and these people in this chat and the people around you, it's going to get us through to the other side. So guys, I will see you here. Same demon time, same demon channel tomorrow on the Demons Tea Room. As always, if you guys want to have a specific subject you want us to cover, throw them down in the comments below. We go through and read all the comments as best as we can. So guys, much love and respect. And as one of my favorite DJs of all time says, thank you for listening, children. We'll be seeing you out there in the waste. Peace out, everybody.